Respected elders, educationists, language scholars, dear teachers, and dearest students, welcome. First of all, it is my kind request that those who haven't subscribed our channel so far may kindly subscribe it. Dear teachers and students, in the last class we saw the formation of past tense and past participle of regular verbs. That is, how regular verbs form their past tense and past participle. Today we are going to see, that is, today we are going to enter into phonology, that is phonemes. Today we are going to see how the 8 diphthongs are produced. We are going to see how the 8 diphthongs are produced with a diagram. Come. Eight diphthongs: I, A, O, E, U. We are going to see how these I diphthongs are produced. Dear teachers and dear students, there are 8 diphthongs in English. Among the 8 diphthongs, I, A, O, and O are called closing diphthongs. These 8 diphthongs are called closing diphthongs. It is because I, are produced ending in front end. I, are produced ending in the front end. O and O are produced by ending in the back end. So they are called closing diphthongs, that is front and back end, closing diphthongs. Okay, first let us see how the phoneme how the diphthong I is produced. I is produced by forming A by raising the center of the tongue and sounding, and forming E by raising the front tongue and then moving A in the direction of E. That is, again, A is produced by forming A by raising the center of the tongue and sounding, and forming E by raising the front tongue and then moving A in the direction of E. First A is produced, then E is produced, then A is moved towards E. A is moved towards I only. A does not reach E. when I is produced, the lips change from a neutral position to a spread position. When R is produced, A is in neutral position. When E is produced, when R is produced, the tongue is in neutral position. When E is produced, the tongue changes from neutral to spread position. I. The tongue changes from the lax to the tense position. When R is produced, the tongue is tense. The tongue is lax. But E is produced, the tongue is tense. Thus, I is produced by raising the center of the tongue and then producing E and then moving towards E. I. See the picture? See the diagram? First, I is produced by raising the center of the tongue. Then, E is produced by raising the front tongue. Then, A is moved towards E. A plus EI. Example, I. Both these words are homophones. I. Sky. BY are homophones. Boy. Thigh. I. Sky. Boy. Thigh. Dear teachers and students, this diphthong phoneme is the Tamil diphthong phoneme I. The English I is like the Tamil diphthong I. They are alike, but they are not equivalent. They are only alike, but not equivalent. The reason is, when the Tamil I is produced, the side plates of the tongue touches the upper molars. But in the production of English I, there is no touch of the side plates of the tongue. I. Then let us see how the diphthong A is produced. See, A is produced by forming by raising the front tongue and sounding, and forming E by raising the front tongue. A is produced by raising the front tongue and sounding, and forming E by raising the front tongue and sounding, and then moving in the direction of E. A is produced by forming by raising the front tongue and sounding, and forming E by raising the front tongue and sounding, and then moving in the direction of E. E is moved towards, is moved towards E. Is moved only towards E, but E does not reach E. When A is produced, the lips are spread. and the tongue changes from the legs to the tense position. When A is produced, the lips are spread and the tongue changes from the legs to the tense position. See, let us see the diagram. See, first E is produced by raising the center of the tongue to the half of the height, and then the front tongue, secondly, the front tongue is raised to 3/4 of the height by raising the front tongue, and then A is moved towards E. A is moved towards E. First A is produced, then E is produced, and then A is moved towards E, forming A plus E, A. Let us see the example. A, they, made, paid. A, E, A. 1 plus 2 is equal to 3. Dear teachers and students, this diphthong phoneme is not available in Tamil. Let us see the third phoneme. I. The third phoneme, diphthong phoneme is I. Front diphthong. Is closing diphthongs. I. How is for diphthong I is produced? You see? I is produced by forming O by raising the back of the tongue and sounding, and forming E by raising the front tongue. You see? O is produced by forming O by raising the back tongue and sounding, and forming E by raising the front tongue and sounding, and then moving O towards E, and then moving O towards E in the direction of E. Here we have to listen carefully. O is moved only towards in the direction of E, but does not reach E. O is moved towards E, but does not reach E. That's all. When O is produced, the lips are open rounded. When O is produced, the lips are open rounded for the first element and neutral for the second. That is, when O is produced, the lips are open rounded for the first element, that is for O, and neutral for the second element, that is E. The tongue changes from the legs to the tense position. For O, the tongue is legs. For E, the tongue is tense. Let us see the diagram. Dear teachers and students, first the back of the tongue is raised and O is formed. Secondly, the front tongue is raised and E is formed. Then O is moved towards E. O is moved towards E. First, O is formed, then E is formed, then O is moved towards E. It is only moved towards E, but O does not reach A. I. This is how the diphthong phoneme I is produced. See it again and again. See the example. Oil, boy, noise, voice, oil, boy, noise, voice. And dear teachers and students, this diphthong phoneme is not available in Tamil. Let us move to the fourth phoneme. Ow, 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 kutal ow. Let us say how this phoneme is produced. Ow is produced by forming a by raising the center of the tongue and sounding, and forming u by raising the back of the tongue and sounding, and then moving a in the direction of u, moving a in the direction of u. That is, here a is moved only towards u. I mean towards u, but does not reach u. Ow is produced by forming a by raising the center of the tongue and sounding and forming, that is producing u by raising the back of the tongue and sounding and then moving up in the direction of u. Let us see the tongue, lips and tongue's position in the protection of this diphthong. When ow is produced, the lips are neutral for the first element. The lips are neutral for the first element a and close fully rounded for the second o. When the sound ow is produced, lips are neutral for a and close fully rounded for the second element o. Ow. And let us see the tongue position. That is, relax. Ow. Ow. See, the tongue changes from tense to lag position. For the first element, the tongue is lax. For the second element, u, the tongue is tense. So the tongue changes from lax to tense position. Ow. The tongue changes from ow, from lax to tense position. Ow. The tongue for the protection of the tongue is lax. For the protection of u, the tongue is tense. So the tongue changes from lax to tense position. Let us see the picture. See how is produced by forming a by raising the center of the tongue and forming u by raising the back of the tongue and sounding and then moving a towards u. You see, first the phoneme a is produced, then the vowel phoneme u is produced, and then a is moved towards you. First A is produced, then U is produced, thirdly A is moved towards you. That's all. This is the way how is produced. This phoneme is identically equal. That is, and are equivalent phonemes. That is, English is identically equal to the Tamil in all respects. That is, A plus U is equal to 1 plus 2 is equal to 3. See the examples. Owl, how, now, cow. How, cow. Dear students, listen the difference. H-O-W, how. C-O-W, cow. How, cow. Let us move to the fifth one. Let us see how the diphthong phoneme is produced. Is produced by forming by raising the center of the tongue and sounding, and forming by raising the back of the tongue and sounding, and then moving in the direction of you. That is, is produced by forming by raising the center of the tongue and sounding, and forming by raising the back of the tongue and sounding, and then moving towards O. Here we have to listen. Carefully. Is moved in the direction of you, but does not reach you. Let us see the tongue and lips positions. When is produced, the lips are neutral for the first element and closely fully rounded for the second element. That is, the lips position is, when is produced, the lips are neutral. But when U is produced, the lips are closely fully rounded. Neutral for and closely fully rounded for U. The tongue changes. The tongue changes from the position of lags to the position of tense. That is, the tongue changes from lags to tense position. Lags to tense position. The lips are neutral for A, closely fully rounded for U, and the tongue is legs for the tongue is legs for A, tense for U, legs for A, tense for U. Let us see the diagram. It is again. U is produced by forming A by raising the center of the tongue and sounding, and producing U by raising the back of the tongue and sounding, and then moving A in the direction of in the direction of O. See, let us see the picture. You see, dear teachers and students, see the picture. First, A is produced by raising the center of the tongue. Then U is produced by raising the back of the tongue. And then A is moved towards U. First A is produced, then U is produced, then A is moved towards U. This is the way of how A is produced. This, dear teachers and students, this diphthong phoneme is not available in Tamil. That is, this diphthong phoneme does not exist in Tamil. It's not available in Tamil. Let us see the examples. See first, open, go, not go, not open, open, not no, no. N-O-K-N-O-W, diphthongs. Then so. Again, no, not so. No, so. Open, go, no, so. Open, go, no, so. Let us move to the centering diphthongs. As three diphthongs, ends. These three diphthongs ends at the center of the tongue. They are called centering diphthongs. The protection of these three diphthongs ends at the center of the tongue. They are called centering diphthongs. First, see how the diphthong ear is produced. Ear is produced by forming E by raising the front tongue and sounding, and forming by raising the center of the tongue, and then moving E towards again. Ear is produced by forming E by raising the front tongue and sounding, and forming by raising the center of the tongue and sounding, and then moving E in the direction of here E moves in the direction of but does not reach Let us see the lips and tongue position. When ear is produced, the lips are neutral for both the phonemes. Ear. Is this E? Ear. But ear. The lips are neutral for both the phonemes. The tongue changes from tense to lax. The tongue is tense for E and lax for The tongue is tense for E and lax for See the diagram. You see, first one. First, the phoneme E is produced by raising the front tongue. Then A is produced by raising the center of the tongue. Then E is moved towards First E is produced. Secondly, A is produced. Thirdly, E is moved towards First E is produced, then A is produced, then A is moved towards you. E plus A is produced, then A is produced, then E is moved towards A. This phoneme is not available in Tamil. Let us see the examples. Ear, not ear. ear. H-E-R-E, H-E-A-R. Both the words are homophones. Here, here. D-E-A-R, D-E-E-R. Both are homophones. Dear. Dear teachers and students, don't differentiate in pronunciation D-A-R and D-E-E-R. Some people pronounce the word D-E-E-R as a deer. No, no. I'm sorry to say. D-E-E-R also D-E-E-R should also be pronounced as deer. Deer, deers. Okay? Now let us move to the sixth phoneme. You see, in the second of the centering diphthong, there are two vowels. One is a and the second one is a. See how this a is work. One is the front end, one is the vowel of the front end. Second vowel is the centering center vowel. One is front vowel, so a is center vowel. So how this a is produced? Let us see. See, a is produced by forming a by raising the front end and sounding, and forming a by raising the center of the tongue and sounding, and then moving in the direction of First a is produced, then is produced, then a is moved in the direction of That's all. A is moved only in the direction of a. Let us see the tongue positions. As produced by raising the center of the tongue to off of the position as a and even though they are front and center vowels, as the height raised, as the height of the tongue raised is the same, the lips are neutral. The lips are neutral and the tongue is lax for both. The tongue is neutral for both the phonemes, and the lips are neutral for both the phonemes, and the tongue is neutral and the tongue is lax for both the phonemes, because they are the tongue is raised to off of the position for both elements, even though one is front vowel and another is central vowel. Let us see. First, a is produced by raising the front tongue. Then a is produced by raising the center of the tongue. A plus front tongue, center of the tongue. This phoneme is not available in Tamil. Let us see the example. A-I-R, not air, O-R, not where, fire, not fire, T-H-E-I-R, T-H-E-R-E are homophones, not there, not there, not there. Both the words are homophones. Their pronunciation is thire, homophones. Again, fire, fire, fire. So, okay? This phoneme is not available in Tamil. Let us see the eighth. Eighth diphthong phoneme. There are two vowel phonemes, U and A. U is back vowel, A is central vowels. Let us see how UA is produced. UA is produced by forming U by raising the back of the tongue and sounding, and A is produced by raising the center of the tongue and sounding. First, U is produced by raising the back of the tongue and sounding, and A is produced by raising the center of the tongue and sounding. Not simply raising, they should be sounded. Then only a phoneme would be produced. U is directed. U, then U is moved in the direction of A. U is moved in the direction of A, but does not reach A. First U is produced, then A is produced, then U is moved towards, that is in the direction, towards, in the direction of A. That is again, UA is produced by raising this, by producing U, by raising this back of the tongue, and producing A by raising the center of the tongue, and then moving U in the direction of A. What are the lips and tongue's position? When UA is produced, the lips, when UA is produced, the lips are closely fully rounded for the first element, that is for U. When for U, the lips are closely fully rounded. For A, neutral. The lips are closely fully rounded for U and neutral for A. The tongue changes from tense position to lax position. That is, the tongue is tense for U and lax for A. Let us see the diagram. You see, first U is produced by raising the back of the tongue. Then A is produced by raising the center of the tongue, and then U is moved towards A. First U is produced, then A is produced, then U is moved in the direction of A. That's all. This phoneme also is not available in Tamil. Let us see the example. Poor, not poor, poor. Cure, cure, not cure. Tour, tour, more. Poor, cure, tour, more. Dear teachers and students, today we have seen how the 8 diphthongs, 8 diphthong phonemes are produced with the diagram you have seen. It is my kind request, dear teachers, take them into your memory and try your best to become master in it. You should gain mastery in the protection of phonemes, in the protection of the 44 English phonemes, and also in the protection of 33 Tamil phonemes. Then only you can shine as a successful teacher. So, dear teacher, it is the part of us. It is the part of us. It is our part, main part. To know the phonemes of the languages we know, the languages we teach, either Tamil or English or any other languages. But as far as myself is concerned, I am taking care of the phonemes of the two languages. That is first my mother tongue and then the world language. English. Now we have seen the 8 diphthongs in the diagram. In the next class, we will see the simple present tense, present continuous tense. And then we will see with the diagram the protection of the 24 consonant English phonemes. Dear teachers and students, we will meet in the next class. Till then, wish you a very nice and sweet time. Thank you.